Hey everybody, Eric Dyson here. I'm the executive director of 90 North Consulting, and this is the inaugural Friday Fiduciary 5. I'm going to bring you a fiduciary topic, talk about fiduciary best practices and ERISA plans, and do that in 5 minutes or less. And today's topic is the basic duties of an ERISA fiduciary. Now, each one of these basic duties will be a topic of upcoming Friday Fiduciary Fives. Let's go through each of the four basic ones: the duty of loyalty, the duty of prudence, the duty to diversify assets, and the duty to follow plan documents. Now, the duty of loyalty is that ERISA fiduciaries need to operate the plan exclusively in the best interests of the plan participants and their beneficiaries. One of the key words is exclusively, that there's a single-minded view as to what's in the best interest of the employees, the participants of the plan. The next, the duty of prudence, essentially says that if you are an ERISA fiduciary, you must have the knowledge, the skills of someone who is familiar with similar matters. In other words, you have to wear this fiduciary hat and operate, make decisions as though you are an expert. If, however, you are not an expert in these matters, then you are required to find the right expert and outsource it or hire someone else. The duty to diversify assets, diversifying assets in a defined contribution plan, such as a 401k or a 403b or a 457b plan, essentially means offering a diversified menu, different asset classes, and sufficient choice of where to invest. And then the last of the four primary duties is the duty to follow plan documents. Now let's look at the next three items here, which I call the add-ons. The duty of loyalty and prudence covers these three, but since they are brought up by other folks as potentially part of these basic fiduciary duties, I'm going to cover them as what I call the three add-ons. So what is a prohibited transaction? Again, I'll cover this in a fiduciary 5 Friday in the future, but a very simple prohibited transaction would be the company cannot borrow money from the ERISA plan to fund its ongoing needs. Examples: the duty to avoid and or manage conflicts of interest. And there are going to be very distinct conflicts that a plan and plan fiduciaries need to avoid. But sometimes these are an issue that it's a potential conflict of interest. And the best example I can give you, that if you are using proprietary investments of your record keeper, then there's a potential conflict there that simply needs to be managed, addressed, and disclosed. If you use an advisor for your plan and your advisor offers a managed account solution and that advisor gets compensation from that solution, then it's a potential conflict that needs to be addressed. It needs to be disclosed. In both of those examples, it's not wrong to use proprietary products of a record keeper. It's not wrong to use the managed account solution of an advisor, as long as the committee members, the plan fiduciaries, understand everything about it. There's disclosure and they're managing those potential conflicts. And the last one is the duty to pay only reasonable costs, only pay reasonable expenses. That would also rise up, in my opinion, to the duty of loyalty and the duty of prudence. But in your decision-making process, as committee members, as plan fiduciaries, or as advisors to plans, if you remember and keep these in mind at the top: duty of loyalty exclusively in the interest of the participants and their beneficiaries, single-minded view. The duty of prudence: are you an expert? If not, you need to hire an expert. Are you properly diversifying assets? Are you following the plan document? Stay away from prohibited transaction, manage conflicts of interest, and only pay reasonable expenses. That's the Friday Fiduciary 5 for today. Look forward to chatting with you next week.